Welcome to today's session and thanks for joining. In these live sessions, I demonstrate a technique for swing trading profitably in any market condition by taking only high probability and low risk 360 degrees trades. I am Sagar Nandi, active trader in multiple markets using Q systems that I developed myself. Q runs on Metastock and TradeStation platforms. It has multiple components. Disclaimer: this demonstration is for educational purposes only. I am not an investment advisor. It is not a trade recommendation. Trading involves risk. You and only you are solely responsible for the outcome of your trades. Options trading can be risky. You may refer to the characteristics and risks of standardized options document from OCC to decide if options trading is suitable for you. Before I begin, I would like to highlight one thing. Thanks to one of the Q traders from the USA who pointed out that there was an issue with Refinitiv data, and I had shared that with the public on that day, that was October 24th. And today also I notice it is not an error today, but I wanted to show that to you. On the Zenith data, today is already Saturday. By this time, normally the real-time data goes away and Friday's data is put onto the 1-day percentage change column. So by this time, this column should have been blank and this value should have shifted to 1-day column. That has not happened. Okay, it's not an error. The percentage changes on real time are correct, but it has not shifted, and therefore when I am running Q edge, though it is after market hours, I am using the no limit data retrieval parameter. There are other options like limit. As the name suggests, the limit is used to limit real-time data access during off-market hours. But just now I showed that though it is off-market hours, Zenith has not shifted the real-time data to 1-day data. That's why if you are running Q Edge or Q Vital today now, you may have to use the no limit setting, and that's why you will see still real-time and 1-day. 1-day being Thursday's performance and real-time being Friday's performance. Okay, with that note, let us begin. Begin with instruments that often move the market. That will be dollar index and mega cap custom index. Starting with dollar index ETF UUP. In the last market recap, I shared my view that UUP was likely to continue in an uptrend and the support trend line to hold, and that has happened. Support trend line is holding and it is creating higher low and going up. Though last 4 days it is not moving up or down, moving practically sideways, we'll see if it continues to go up. That is my expectation, which may change if the Fed makes rate cut decision that is different from what the market expects. What the market expects, I don't know, but we'll probably know that from how the UUP moves. In any case, I don't use UUP's move to decide on my trades. It is an instrument that influences the market. It is not an instrument that decides my trading direction. UUP is continuing in an uptrend. And also, as you know, the dollar index or UUP is not always inversely correlated with the market, whereas the mega cap custom index is always directly correlated with the market. And we'll see something interesting, and that will explain why, though the market made new all-time highs across the board for the ETFs, I mentioned on Twitter that I am going to look for a shorting idea this week. Here is some reason for that, though it is not the decisive reason. The mega caps tremendously influences the market, and that is now underperforming the market, which you may not see from the mega cap ETFs because those may be market cap weighted, and this feature of being market cap weighted distorts the actual underlying move in the market. This custom mega cap index is not market cap weighted, and it is showing that though mega caps as a whole are moving sideways, it is underperforming the market. And also we see that the bearish headwind caught the very high so far, and since then the backdrop color has remained bearish. It will be possible to short if it can break the trend line support, or if it goes to the trend line resistance and creates a false upside breakout. Is it downtrending? No, it is moving sideways, but it is underperforming the market, and it is not easy for the market to keep on going up if the mega caps are continuing to underperform. We'll see what happens next week. It is earning seasons. The mega caps will also have earnings soon. We'll see how that moves the market. Q market breadth, internal health check. Usually the market follows the internal health, not the other way around. Total view, the broadest view of the market. Though we had a series of confirmed Hindenburg omen signals, after this sharp drop on one Friday, market steadily recovered and made a new all-time high. It is not overbought in any of the oscillators, percentage of stocks above 50-day moving average or 3-month new high low. It's not overbought, and it made a new all-time high. If we look at the total view using weekly daily, let's see if we get some more insights from there. Made a new all-time high, backdrop color turned bullish, had a huge gap up on Friday, though the candle closed with a bearish indecision at the top. That is not a shorting signal. It may be a cautionary signal, but it is not a shorting signal. Is it in an uptrend? Clearly. Does it allow shorting? No. Is it doing better than the mega caps? Yes, clearly. Mega caps were moving sideways. It had trendline resistance and support both, but here for total view we only see trendline support, no trendline resistance. So broader market is doing better than the mega caps for the time being. I'll not look at the other breadth charts today. They don't provide any additional insight. Instead, let us continue with the market external view. This is how most people around the globe see the market. And here you will find something interesting, and that will explain why, partly at least, why I am going to look for shorting trade ideas this week, not long trade ideas. SPY looks very much like total view, new all-time high in weekly and daily, but we have a bearish indecision in daily, getting stretched in jump. But still it is very much in an uptrend, no doubt about that. QQQ, new all-time high in weekly, daily, interestingly again had one bearish indecision at the top, jump is getting stretched. Dia, new all-time high in weekly and daily both. Daily does not have a bearish indecision. Therefore, Dia is slightly better looking at weekly daily than SPY QQQ, but all are bullish. IWM, made a new all-time high on a closing basis in the weekly at least, probably not in the daily. We can see not in the daily. Daily did not make a new all-time high on a closing basis, weekly made. Interestingly, when the sharp drop happened that week, I mentioned that it was right at the trend line support, and these supports are very difficult to break. That support held beautifully and price went up. Friday's candle is indecisive in shape. Does not allow me to short that indecision. It is clearly in an uptrend. All the market ETFs are looking much stronger than the mega cap custom index. None of them are telling me that it is time to short. Why am I then thinking of looking for shorting ideas? Notice the percentage changes here. Mid cap ETF 0.5% change up on Friday. SPY 0.8%, DIA 1.1%, QQQ 1.1%, IWM 1.2%, the best performer. Notice QQQ 1.1% up, SPY 0.8% up. And then look at the equal weighted ETFs, RSP, equal weighted S&P 500, just 0.3 percentage up, whereas SPY was 0.8% up. A difference of 0.5%, that is not small. QQQ equal weighted, QQE 0.4% up, though QQQ was 1.1 percentage up. That is 0.7% difference, not significant by any means. And furthermore, let us look at these two charts. RSP did not make a new all-time high, and in daily opened with a huge gap up. Looks like on irrational exuberance, on the news that inflation might be little bit lower than expected. I think that was the reason that lifted everything, but right after the open it started sharply falling, couldn't go up after the open at all, which is very different in SPY, QQQ, etc. And the reason is those are market cap weighted. Is it in a downtrend? No, RSP is not in a downtrend, but it created something called, let's see if that is true. Let's look at the momentum chart. It created a down day at the top, but I don't see red candle high here. That is fine. But this is one thing that made me thinking whether it is appropriate to buy at this time. QQQE, if we look at that, it made a new all-time high in the weekly, made a new all-time high in daily also on a closing basis, but see the candle shape on Friday, not looking bullish at all. And I will show some more reasons why I'm going to look for bearish trades. So far, what reasons I have shown? I have shown mega caps which are very influential on the market. They are underperforming. Earnings season is coming. Their earnings is coming soon. It may move the market. AI stocks are at super high price level. Some of them have little or no earnings. Some reports suggest that AI is not generating enough revenue, certainly not profit, relative to the investment being made. Whether that reflects in the earnings or not, I don't know. We'll wait for that. But those things are in my mind. Some stocks are at too high price level. So mega cap underperforming, the equal weighted QQQ RSP reversed very soon after the open, came down sharply, and I'll show some more reasons later. Before that, let's continue with QH. It has bucket analysis thanks to Dr. Jeffrey Scott. After watching whose videos I incorporated it in Q systems, made it 100% real time. It is remarkable in pinpointing reversals, high accuracy. Though there is no reversal signal at present, it acts as an oscillator. Currently it has no signal. QH also has sector industry stock breadth. It shows where the market came from, where it is now, where it may go next. Bucket analysis. Now 60% of S&P 1500 stocks are above mid-Bollinger Band. So it became bullish. Last week it was more below the mid-Bollinger Band. Now it has gone above the mid-Bollinger Band. 15.2% of stocks are above upper Bollinger Band. If it hit 30-40% level, then we expect a reversal. It is far from that. And we notice significant percentage of stocks moved up above upper Bollinger Band on Friday. That percentage changed from Thursday's 10.4 to Friday's 15.2. Interestingly, at the same time, stocks below lower Bollinger Band also increased from 4.1% on Thursday to 5.2% on Friday. So under the hood, some selling was going on, though Hindenburg did not appear. That is fine. We are reading all the insights one by one. Sector industry stock breadth, longer term, still remaining bearish, monthly period. 10-day period, still longer term, remaining bearish. This week turned bullish, but the bullishness reduced over 2 days and 1 day. Friday became bullish again. Remember, Friday's data is still in real time. It has not shifted to 1 day yet. So we can see red, red here, green, red, green again. Again, the flip-flop is continuing. We'll see where it goes next. The bucket analysis and the secondary stock breadth does not tell us anything decisive to be bullish or bearish. Let's continue with Q Finder technical breadth. We only profit by buying stocks going up or shorting stocks coming down for directional trades. Most of my trades and Q trades are directional trades. Technical breadth shows the overall posture to adopt and allows easy drill down to find low risk trade setups. Weekly technical breadth is overall bullish, though the reversals are mixed. So the stock market is at very high price level as far as ETFs are concerned. Not all stocks are at high price level, but ETFs are at very high price level. And if I see reversals are equaling on the bullish and bearish side, then I may be tempted to look for bearish trades at the top, reversal trades, or when the market is at all-time high, if a stock is already coming down, that may be an even better shorting candidate. Or if a stock had trendline support and it is breaking from that, that may also be a lucrative shorting point. So this mixed picture in reversal statistics is telling me it is okay to look for shorts, though this is not enough. Friday's technical break. This is what led me to decide to look for short trades. Though the market made new all-time high, Friday's technical breadth is not bullish. Overall, it is bearish and reversals are very much bearish, which is aligning with the reading of the weekly technical breadth I made just now. And finally, what prompted me finally to look for shorting trades is the red candle high alert. Remember the RSP and QQQE, they opened with a gap up. RSP immediately came down, could not go up anymore after that, and QQQE went up little bit and then came down. Both of those had a kind of reversal candle, though they are in an uptrend. But in that context, I see many stocks made a red candle high, that is from a relatively higher price level, not necessarily all-time high or 52-week high, but relatively high price level, they came down. And that is what led me to look for one of these red candle high stocks to see if I can find a short trade. I'll do that bottom up analysis shortly, but before that, Q market level summary, the most important trading decision is whether and where to buy or short, or whether to stand aside. A lot of stocks are at a very high price level. As I mentioned, some of them don't have earnings or very little earnings. Many of them are overvalued. I am reluctant to buy those stocks. I may buy stocks at a lower price level, just like I suggested in the last market recap. We'll see how that stock did shortly. But in the current market, I am going to look for shorting ideas also, stocks that are starting to come down. Maybe I'll try to find some red candle high shorting idea. Q setup, but also having red candle high. Before that, review of last week's trade ideas. Last week I shared only one trade idea, that was a buying idea, that was in Western Union. Very high dividend yield stock at that time. Remember, this is when I shared the idea in weekly, this is when I shared the idea in daily. That time I mentioned other trendline resistances were nearby, but because of the fundamental analysis, the industry scorecard, and also the high dividend yield, I mentioned that I already took a long stock position in the stock using stocks. And very nicely it sharply went up, on very nicely for me, of course, I had a long stock position. WU rallied on Friday and I had this level in mind already. Multiple top. When price came there, yes, it broke much above that, but that's fine. When it came there, I closed my long stock position. I'm a short-term trader. I usually do not hold stocks for a long time. So this was a good enough profit for me for 4 days of trading or 5 days of trading. Once again, The Q360 degree straight that I selected, shared before knowing the results, worked beautifully. The secret is nothing secret really. I try to align as many forces as possible from technicals, from fundamentals, from industry score, etc. And once again, I am amazed how the bullish headwind, the unique reversal signal, worked. This week's trade ideas. Let's try to find Q setup which also has red candle high. How to do that? Start with Q finder. Go to the momentum signals. Let's look for also minimum 3 bearish momentum signals. No harm in doing that. That will reduce the number of stocks and flag for red candle high. From the universe of liquid stocks, I am left with only 8 stocks. What are they? They have red candle high. That was my starting point. I also looked for minimum of 3 bearish momentum signals. Do they have Q trade setup? A single click will look them up from Q finder. Out of those 8, 6 has possible short setup. We'll have to look at them on the chart, but I already did that, and this is the stock FLUT that I am interested in investigating more. It is at price extreme middle. It has a possible flow bearish short setup and also a breakout short setup. When the market made new all-time high, this stock came down. I look at the chart, but before that I look at the fundamentals. Sometimes when I'm shorting, I may be flexible on the fundamentals. Does it have some reason to short? It's casinos and gaming industry stock. Earnings on 12th November, some distance away, allows me to take a swing trade. It will be a short trade. Doesn't have any dividend yield. Majority of stocks in the peer group, 67%, went down while the market rallied, made new all-time high. Valuation is medium. Earnings growth is sharply coming down, very sharply coming down. That's a reason we may consider shorting. And if I look at its industry scorecard, I want to make it a 360 degrees straight. That's my preference. It is one of the weakest industries and it is one of the most decelerating industries. I like those. On a day when the market made new all-time high, this industry sharply came down. Now let's look at the stock's technicals. Let's use this beautiful multi-chart layout. Nowhere near all-time high. Made a false upside breakout here. Soon after that, weekly gave that unique bearish headwind possible reversal signal. Since then, backdrop color has remained bearish and the stock has significantly come down. This week's backdrop color and shape in weekly both are bearish, hugely underperforming the market. In daily, it broke below trendline support, giving a breakout short setup, and it is also giving a trend following short setup. If we look at the commentary, we saw that from the finder, You could also find it from the commentary, which is a program in itself. FLUT on Friday has a possible breakout as well as trend following flow short setup. Remember, I looked for red candle high. That is one of the three bearish momentum signals, and I see there are also three bearish directional forces. What are they? I could read them. I know Q charts quite well, probably you do also, but we could look at the commentary. Let's look at the directional forces on the bearish side. Flow bearish reversal and trend line breakout. What are the bearish momentum signals? Bearish bongo, Mobo breakdown, and red candle high. Remember, that was one of my starting points to look for shorts. And yes, it has a reversal candle also. This is my trade peak. Interestingly, on a day when market is making new all-time high, I am choosing FLUT as my trade idea, which is a short trade idea. I have no position in FLUT. If on Monday it starts to go up, I may not short it. If it goes up, okay, let me rephrase it. If it goes up on Monday and starts to come down, I may have a better fill price for shorting. And in the current market, which is making new all-time high, of course, my preferred shorting instrument is short call vertical, not shorting with the stock. But if options are not liquid enough, then I don't mind sometime taking short stock positions also. I have no position in this stock at present. If you carry out the 360 degrees analysis using Q like that, you will most likely find other trading candidates today just as you would almost every other day. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in my next session. Have a great weekend, and as I always say, as this live examples I am quite confident shows, there is no reason not to do that. Trade profitably. Thank you.